Muller podcast. Fagan Muller podcast. Fagan Muller podcast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, out there in the Instagram world and out there into the real world. I'm back, the Fagan Muller podcast, growing your professional self. And this evening with me in studio, me, the DOGG, the dog in the building. It's because the people said, I need you to speak alone again, Fagan. Reminding you, you don't do an interview podcast. You need to hear the principles. Because you need to shine the light. So, and I actually been doing some research. The guy to my right this evening, not to my left, I've been doing some research about podcasts out there in South Africa that just share principles to success. And I'm stuck on God Peniel. Otherwise, everybody's just giving a lot of information. And it's a lot.
And entertainment, straight up entertainment.
And straight up entertainment. And there's a lot. So,
but it's a good thing.
No, 100%. I was looking at this one guy, he just refurbishes like all the personal development gurus. He just refurbishes their videos all the time. And he's like through the roof. He's also a speaker now in that space.
Yes, what's his name?
It slips my mind now, sir. I do not take it. But I am loving Diary of a CEO at the moment. That's why I watched Simon Sinek's Diary of a CEO and I was like, boop, this is what everybody's missing.
But do me a favor. As you know, dink aan al die podcast that you went through.
Yep.
Send it to me and then I can do it. What I can do is put it in the comments.
Correct.
And then people can just go check out. Maybe after a few days, they can go back to this live and then check it out. Beautiful.
Because I'm gonna pop it's actually I can add into that. I'm gonna pop the PDF of the Canva presentation.
Awesome.
Into the link below. We'll have the presentation, and then you can have it.
I'll do the same for Facebook. Sorry, for YouTube.
Beautiful. Because I think, a lot of us, we don't know where to go in terms of there's a lot of people out there and you don't know who is for you. So who are the mentors for you? Like I'm the old school, I always say it, Jim Rohn, John C. Maxwell, they sit well with me, the elders. But maybe you're into the newbies, and there's a lot of new guys that's eating it hard out there in the personal development space. I'm torn between wanting to be in that space because just being an educator naturally every day it's just boom, boom, personal development. Through the unnecessary things of the education system, we find time for it. So this evening, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, you guys out there, if you want to see the presentation, you're going to have to go on to Cape Conscious Media, Facebook, boom, you see it live and direct. But also wanting to get you guys from the Instagram world there. So this evening, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Sinek's Infinite Game. Mental familiarity on a level of 1 to 10?
-3.
-3.
Frostbite.
Yo, you came sick. This is gonna knock your block. This is those principles, and then you think you're like, yeah, you've been doing it all your life, and maybe you were just missing one or two. And at the time, this was happening, and this wasn't happening. And I've shared a few of those, those gems.
Definitely, yeah.
Any one of them that stuck out to you?
First thing comes to mind, support. The support around you.
That was a good episode.
Yeah, there's a few. The friends you keep around you will dictate where you're going to.
Okay, can I finish my... Okay, sorry. Also one. So as you know, Nantel in the studio, love the man to my right this evening. So ladies and gentlemen, the Simon Sinek, the Infinite Game. So what is the Infinite Game? Eeg story. Oh, this was eeg funny. Now this is maybe... I had a friend of mine, who's a coach, and then he asked one of the African players, he's from the Kasi. Now I know they obviously speak with an accent. So you said, I was doing the infinite game story, and I was like, Owens, there's a finite game and there's an infinite game. And he asked the guy, because he said, Fagan, I know he's going to say infinite. And he's like, I can't say the other guy's name. What is it? Finite game? And the guy's like, infinite game. It's like, ooh, wrong coconut. Because infinite is what we also got. Or infinite. So we've got the finite game and the infinite game. Finite game, 90 minutes of football. Many things are finite games. Nentel, can you move to the next slide so that I can just rekindle my memory? Finite games, there's a time limit. There are metrics. What is a metric? Something that you can count, right? Something that you can weigh, like times throughout the day. But there's certain things that go on forever, like football. Because like we all know, God rest his soul, Pele passed away, and I thought football was going to stop, but it still continued. And then Diego Maradona also died, and then football still continued. Nentel, he's still in the DJ game, but the industry still continues.
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a rule: you can never be bigger than your art.
Ooh.
Because then the ego comes into play.
And the whole day I'm talking to the kids about the ego, or one of the learners was asking about the ego, and I said, like, I have a Morse ego. And the thing is, like, now learning to control it and understanding in what game I'm playing. Because people say, hey, bro, you're never bigger than the game, but they don't understand the full saying. What game are they talking about? Yeah. So the game is two games. We have the infinite game and the finite game. Love playing the finite game because I'm blessed to be involved in two infinite games. So the one is a sport and the one is an industry. So the sport one just happens to be football. So I love playing the 90 minutes. Love it, still play it from the age of 4. Very passionate about the 90 minutes. But the game was more than that. And only finding that out now because I'm still in the game. And now people are like, okay, so you coach. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to coach on the field. Like, I have a just cause. And we're going to start there. And people are like, I'll explain that. Then there's education, which I thought, and I came from a football environment, I thought like education is also like you come to school, teach the lighties, pay check, go home. But then I came in and it's like, nah, there's like an infinite ripple to this thing. Like, this is the long game. And that's like the one. Like, you gotta play whatever game you in long. Dead end job in the long game. So, yes, we're gonna fight here. And again, I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to be wrong. I don't care. I'm just here to grow. So if anything sticks out to you and you can use it, potent. If it don't sit well with you, we will always beg to differ. That's human nature. It's like I was saying, your children will always disappoint you. I'm prepared for that. Whew, tough to say that one. Because I read that in my worry book and I'm like, yeah. It's like the worst thing we need to come to terms with. But that's just how people operate. So in the infinite game, we have 5 different principles. The first one is developing a just cause. I'm going to take you guys through that. Very importantly, why through the just cause is that's where people go, I don't have a purpose or I don't have a passion. So you can decide 2 things with that, with your just cause. It starts obviously with why. So Simon Sinek's first book he wrote was It All Starts With Why. So with why, again, you must find out the golden circle. So the golden circle has 3 layers, simple. Little middle layer there, ID, and then you have outer layer, which is the system, and then on the outside layer, the outcome, which is also the result. And you decide where you focus. So I did my 5 stages of the infinite game very quickly, very simply. So I'll take you through my just cause. So a just cause is so powerful that you can take a lot of people along with you. So it's not about you. So when you set goals, now this is the mad thing. When you set goals and you start with I, you're already in the finite game. Because it never ends and starts with you. It starts with you but never ends with you. Because of it's a continuous cycle. So it's not what is going to make you happy. If you get a lot of money, you're going to want to spend more. It's what will continuously make you happy. Get me? So that you can set the proper goal. Because I feel speaking to a lot of people in the past 2 months is like, again, love people are setting goals. But again, like, let's be a bit more accurate about it. Because if you're going to say, I always say this, I want to play in the PSL. And now I go, yeah, right, to just change what I said. Playing in the PSL would inspire the next generation. There's the just cause. You see the sound of it? Because once you go you first of all, you create an isolated vision towards the just cause, because the just cause needs support, which is number 2, and that's finding your trusting team. Can I go to slide number next, just to get the people up to date there? So again, I'm going to take you through the just cause, the building a trusting team. Come on, man. Building a trusting team. My favorite is finding your worthy rival. And then we will do some existential flexing. And then at the end of this, you'll just find the courage to lead. We're only here for an hour. If you can take some of the principles with you, na een ding, you will survive. And not survive. Somebody told me actually, how are you doing? Now I'm surviving. And I was like, nah, I thrive, bro. Like, push through the unnecessariness of what's happening at the moment. Because I can't pop the whole line in. It's like too strong. There is varying degrees of illness, right? Many illnesses. Okay, there's varying degrees of mental illness. However, there is stronger levels of irresponsibility. So because you are sometimes not in control of your life, but you definitely are responsible. Because like you don't control it at work, you must know paycheck, you get so much, but you're responsible for how you put in the effort for that, per se. So your just cause keeps you driving. You look at your Kobe Bryants, definitely it's just cause. If you watch anything Kobe Bryant, you somehow know you feel after that. Just because that man's just cause was definitely not only to, I want to be the greatest of all time, but I want to inspire the next greatest of all time. Watch how he just constantly speaks about legacy, that Mamba mentality that he spoke about. And these are the things that find the just cause through them. Kobe, Michael Jordan, if you watch now also, I think he found his just cause later. He just had that I. And now it's like, okay, everything I say is powerful.
So this reminds me of interview with Tupac where he said, I might not change the world, but I'm definitely going to inspire the person that's going to change the world. Now, the people that will change the world. And dude, if you think about it, how many people that do that, inspire?
So, again, Tupac was a stoic. So Tupac wasn't a stoic. Tupac, when he was in jail, read the book, The Prince, by Machiavelli. Now, do yourself a favor, watch the docu on Machiavelli. Mind blown. So Machiavelli is the father of politics. So he showed how to lie with a style. So imagine that book, Machiavelli, the Prince, and the 48 Laws of Power. Those books are banned in prisons because those help with manipulation. So Tupac came out of jail with all that. And then he understood, no, man, my purpose is bigger. And again, I don't want to go into my conspiracy theories here next to me. That's a podcast for another day. But look how they were taken out of, because they understood of, put your it's bigger than you. Like I said, I was like, I'm creating the school, Blask, myself and Kim, for Alex. We're not going to send him into the system. Now it's bigger than him. Like this, it's now like the stuff I'm building, the stuff we're building, the curriculums, how we're seeing our children are adapting and growing. It's like, okay, you can add value into the system. You eventually start to change things in it. And that's because of focusing on the just cause. So my just cause is to change the landscape of education and football in Africa. And I'm living at it to Africa, because again, I think we have that self-limiting belief. So I just want to keep it real, because I see my expansion into Africa soon, like just speaking to other people in Africa, and that's the one just cause. So for focusing on your just cause, you need to use the golden circle. Number next, my sir. And then we've got, so I spoke about defining your why. Communicate your purpose clearly and to inspire others. So that is where I'm at with my just cause. So I found the why. I went for the golden circle. Golden circle, like I said, my identity is 5 things. Father, educator, sportsman, always adding value, and I got a little bit of charisma. That's my 5th one. Just to always, like, I have to just, I have to find the Mickey, take the Mickey out of everything. Just to keep it sombre for the peeps. So that's my identity. Those 5 words. Now, with that identity is the system. So in my identity system, what it involves then is, for the father, I need to be consistent. As an educator, I need to be a learner. As a sportsman, I need to always think about wellness. To add value, I need to show application all the time. And for my charisma, I need to enjoy my life and be a consummate professional. So that's the system that aligns with my identity. So if my identity are those 5 things and the system that I try to follow aligns with that identity, the outcome should be that as a father producing consistency, I should receive love. As an educator, always wanting to be a learner, I should receive a bit of respect. As a sportsman, focusing on wellness, I should feel happiness. And then always wanting to add value, showing application, that creates joy. And then lastly, my charisma, showing to enjoy life, just creates for me energy. So that's my golden circle in a nutshell. I could have put it more bigly, but it's alles in the book. And if that remains my focus, and like I said, that should be the outcome, I am 100% always understanding that the outcome is not always what you expect. Biggest problem is expecting the outcome to happen on your time. It's not. So, I have a big just cause. You can set yours. Take the principles. Just take the time out to set, right? And this is my point now of communicating it, finding the courage, standing up. Say what you need to say to the people out there, and then they find it. And then after your just cause, now this is the problem one. Skipping to number next is finding your trusting team. So building your trusting team, this is the foundation for successful success. Tough. So you must create, first of all, the environment for a trusting team. If your house is dirty, gentlemen, you need to clean. If your room is dirty, you need to clean. If any workspace is dirty, you need to get it in order so that it is conducive to growth, not a place where you are always vulnerable. And I look at, again, I'm use my industry, education. It's admin is very important. You have to keep it real. But then also knowing what comes next is very important. So organization is one thing that's very important. So building your trusting team, I need a team that's organized. And then very important that ensures long-term success. So I went again, my trusting teams to my identity, wife, team, simple, work together. And then in my business, who is my educators that I trust will share the message across. And then again, in sport, I play at a club called FN Rangers, so that I entrust that as my trusting team. And in the team is where, obviously, as we know, the oldest principle of leadership, who you surround yourself with. Like, it's the worst one. And you have to reflect. I was actually driving and reflecting on that one, because those that have been in your circle and that you come and go and you greet again and you see them again, you have a great time. It's like everybody must acknowledge the good in each other. And that's where we find the passion. Because that's when you actually find the one that comes next. Because that's what I was reflecting on. Like, I can look back at all the people that I was like, nah, not anymore, not with this, but then I went like, where does this person fall into? This is number 3, my worthy rival. So, my worthy rival states that that person's strengths is my weaknesses, and my weaknesses is that person's strengths. So, I think in the worthy rival, it's very, very, very easy to go into that comparative vibe. And that's what we do. So you always generally, and again, it goes back to your school environment, which we are naturally taught to compare. And again, it comes from the home. The home always compares you to someone or something or the yardstick. But that metric is what kills you in actually setting up your infinite game. Because you know it's difficult to put a metric in art. Because G-Boy, love you too, brother. So art is always for me a difficult place to put in a metric. And now, no, who is really an art teacher? So I have learners that are really, really good at art. But it's difficult to firstly encourage them because they're also that good. And it's difficult to also not have them compare to someone else who is, in their eyes, that's the level of art I need to be on. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there, please encourage me and help me, show me how nobody must run around because you did it in step A. My bro, look how she color in. You know you did that, Nantel. You know you did that. You look how she color in. Nah. So, you didn't go like, nah. Like, how is she color in there yet? Imagine you found your worthy rivals already like that. So it's now time to go back. You reflect on your trusting team. You have it, people, you like, eigen de manskap. But your worthy rivals, those people who had that, you took something, their strengths, man. Their weakness is what actually inspired you to stay involved with them. And you need to find that. Like I'm with the club I'm at, they're like, the club is the club, but I say it's not an amateur club. It's a professional club in an amateur league. And any club that I'm ever involved in, I've always looked at like, who's laying first in the PSL? That's who you compare yourself to. Like that should be your worthy rival. Your worthy rival needs to be so much bigger than you. Beautiful question for everybody out there. What's the difference between a Sunday league footballer and Cristiano Ronaldo? And the answer is another question. How big is your world? Like the Sunday league player, I love you, brother. I love you. You buzz. But only the community knows who you are. And even the guy that plays in the Castle League and the ABC, that's like, so you go, that's like your you know that sticker, levels. You expand, like they say, rise by size. So you expand your reach as you become. Your bank balance will never outweigh your responsibility. Poof. Moersie pause for dramatic effect. Jim Rohn, bro. Your bank balance will never outweigh your responsibility. Plus now you check like, min geld in my bank balance. But maybe the responsibility is that much that that's all you need. Because again, my just scores, I just want to have the money. When I left school, the just scores was devs changed the education with a klom geld. Because I left school with something to flip it in an industry that I didn't realize also is an infinite game. Yes, to all the traders out there. Credibility, my man, I'm sure you can attest to this. I jumped into the Forex industry, revert, without knowing that, yay, shout out to Chadwin Solomon's, Brian King, they understand that, and Zahir, Zaza, it's an infinite game. Just scores, never. The word money should not be in there. If it is in there, it's probably for them. They would all tell you it's to inspire the next generation. Because they understand it's a long game. Fagan came into the wrong game, wrong mindset with the wrong mindset into the game. The crazy thing about the games is you can't choose who play the game. I'm supposed to tell you this at the end. You can't choose who plays the games, bruh. You can't choose who play football. You can't. I said this thing on this podcast before, I remember. I said, if we have a 5-a-side game and Nantel is on my team and they say, hey, Nantel can't play. We've never seen a photo of Nantel playing football. Last time he played was under 13. You can't choose who plays football. You can only choose the mindset with which you play the game. And that's the gem. But we're only by number 3, ladies and gentlemen. So my worthy rivals, I had to think back. I'm an educator. Like, who's my worthy rivals in football? I mean, in education. Poop, Mr. Goliath. Shout out to you. Mr. Goliath gave me the phrase. I just added onto it. Muller, with that tone. Muller, you want to be a teacher? This is the best job after a comedian. They're going to believe everything you say. I was like, yo, sir, salute. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go drink coffee. Here's a book. Teach them AIDS. Huh? That was my literal initiation into teaching. And I walked into the class and I just started talking about this was my journey and this is what Mr. Goliath said. And I just loved the faces of those children. Are you mad? You literally believing everything I say. Which is good. But like, obviously adding the hyperbole in there, the vast exaggeration of many a story. Sometimes the guy got shot once. You must know. That's 5 shots could interrupt me. I took it in smell. Lovely times with the kids. And sometimes they say, like, I say this to them, don't listen to me. How's that to decipher when you're educated? And I see some of my kids on there. So, yeah, nice to have you people in the building. Anyway, just cause change the landscape of education and football in South Africa. Hey. Number 2, trusting team, wife, educators at Blask. In Taisuk maar young Nantel coming into my trusting team. Nantel, I got you there, brother. Man, take a sample applause, my bro. Nah, always tough sharing things. Nantel, I can share there with Nantel. Nantel, don't share the stuff, my bro. Plus, trusting team is tough. Oh, the mensen break your trust, bro. Oh, it's tough. And then worthy rivals, very important. I was always aiming miss. Like that is the one thing where people, and that's what's in the middle after your trusting team. Now you find your trusting team, boop, now you all in your trusting team. It's like, nah, we, for example, Coke and Pepsi, we're gonna fight. Coke went like, no, we're just gonna stick to our thing, you fighting with us. And that's what happened. And that's why Coke just kapan. It's the same. Some brands, businesses, and these are business principles, ladies and gentlemen, of leadership. That's the synopsis of the book. It is a business leadership book which you can apply to your life. The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, your worthy rival. And now I look at, for me, my school, my learning center, our learning center, because when I say our, I mean every person involved, mental error. The worthy rival, and why I say forgive me, is because this is who I see. And you can't actually judge who somebody else sees as a worthy rival. I look at Curo. That's my level. At one day on Somerset, at Egon. That's my level. That's why and I'm there in a klein studiootjie there in Musenberg with my kids. But my mind don't see that. When I look at them, I just see that Curo. Thinking, oh, my word, Howard. Just give me that bloody sticky grond. And the Curo there in Century City. Oh my word. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have 8K a month, and I think it's like 10, it's beauty. Beauty. Give me 10 a month. My word, Howard. The things I do with your kids. Like, literally, I'm all with a laptop. Mental. You must know. As AI may know. Heel dag. Bursting their heads. Because that's my worthy rival. And then I look at the Finland, the system. I try my best not to give my kids homework. But our kids have different challenges. Lodo Shedin. I think I got 3 messages of my kids. I need an extension. And then like I say, deadlines are for fools. And they're like, but you get the deadline. And I'm like, yeah. Okay. You asked for an extension. You got it. Load shedding. This is what it does. It opens communication also. But our kids have challenges. So this is the tough thing. So are my kids worthy rivals? I always tell them this. Please don't look at kids in mainstream. You need to look at kids overseas and what they are doing. Then you can tell me about that. Because I literally know everything that's happening all around the schools. Who's adding the coding? Who's doing it? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you look at to improve you? Now the next one is the existential flexibility. This is your ability to change. Pauses again for dramatic effect. If you, like some don't, like you don't have that ability to be flexible to change, like you're stuck in your ways. In the one industry I'm in sports, in football, it's like that's been thorough across all the teams. Every single team, like no team is ever singled out here. Every single team I've kicked balls for still has the same badge. No, man. Like, it's mad, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've been sitting with, and it's like, you need to look at the best in the world. What are they doing? That's the worthy rival. Are you willing to flex, man? Like, why does Liverpool and United and City and Juventus just have 2 J's now? Boop, 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 boop. Mad. You didn't even notice. Mandela effect for you. Because that's how you flex in the world, man. Everybody's coming now with the Gucci 3rd kit. How's that? Gucci's making football kits. People are going like, no, we don't do that. So you need to flex, man. Like you need to have that ability to change. That's my model with the school. So and it's difficult. And again, the word unlearn, I'm not trying to get kids to unlearn. I want them to learn that it's important to fail. Because, yes, you're going to do things wrong. And again, I can say all that first attempt in learning thing. But it's a process. Because ladies and gentlemen, everything I'm sharing with you, I'm in the process of learning and applying. ACT, A-C-T. Apply, change, teach. So if I get to the T part, and then, a bit flexing on the way here. So I feel that if you can get to now, you have your just scores. You've set that way out. I'm going to inspire the world. So you're going to help other people. That's part of your just scores. If your just scores, I'm going to work on myself. So that in the future, people will be my legacy behind me. Then it's also good because you can take people along as you inspire yourself. Quite just scores. Boom. You find a trusting team to support you. You find the worthy rivals. And then you want to now flex. Then now you must show. And unfortunately, showing is, like if you're the introvert vibe, you can open your alias on Instagram. You can create your blog. But you have to flex. Because it's part of the growth. That's how the changing circumstances happen. I mean, people thought Lionel Messi would never leave Barcelona. And daar gaat jy PSG toe. Very big paycheck though. But he flexed. He had to show. And again, it goes to the principle of Chad Leonard. Shout out to you, my brother. I'm waiting for you. That's one of my trusting team brothers. His favorite saying is, if you are as comfortable as you were yesterday, you're already in trouble. Like if I ever think about that, I'm like, nah, we must do something now. What must I do? You idle, play with the children. So I feel like I'm a bad father, just sitting still. No, must do something now. So that's that urge, that energy. You can't be comfortable. Something's wrong, and people go like, nah, but so all the ways where you question everything's been settled because it's in my identity. So you would say you'll always be questions along the path when you start flexing, and that's now the thing. What makes it difficult for you to start hitting the last part. And that's the courage to obviously lead when you see others are looking at you and going like, ooh, I can't fail this thing now. That's the one. That's that fifth one. That's that when you're in the workplace, parents, people, everybody out there, you're in the workplace and you're like, you are smart to leave this place. But I can't. So unfortunately, I will still lead. I'm leading in that way. You're not don't have a just cause. It's good to set it. And if you have these 3 principles, go a bit deeper into this. Remember, I'm only giving you surface level. I'm trying to put it as best as I can for you, real, because we don't go out there and go read Simon Sinek's Infinite Game. So again, you need to study, just touching on the worthy rivals again for that today, just a recap. Number 3, study your worthy rivals. They are people who challenge you, and then their strengths you can learn from. So you actually know them. Right? This is how I started networking. Just reaching out to people and like, I did this. And they're like, yo, you just want to make a presentation? You could just ask if you want to be an ambassador here by this place. That's how I roll. Yeah, you should give a long message. I would like to also do mindset coaching in professional football clubs. So what I did, but this is one of the goals in 2020, what I did, I made this presentation and I sent it to every single PSL club out there. And I was like, nah, this thing's going to work. Somebody's going to bite. And again, going through this, it's an infinite game. I'm just like, just cause changing the landscape of South African football. Trusting team, myself. Worthy rivals. There was a couple of other psychologists that also does sports psychology. Boom. Flexing, make a presentation. Courage to lead. Higatos, email. Emailed all the clubs in South Africa, PSL. Nobody replied. But one. And this is the amazing thing. Sundowns. Shout out to Mamelodi Sundowns. Abafana Bastyle, thank you. Beautiful email. I don't care if it was automated or not, but it was, thank you for your presentation. That seemed personal. We will forward this to our juniors. Oh, my bro. That email is gescreenshot and framed, bro. And for me, like, that's that spark. That's the seed, like, look, I don't want to get spiritual here, but that's that, like, something is there. And look who reply. And again, why am I saying Sundowns reply? Because I think they won the league 2 months ago. And the league, everybody was still kicking ball. And yeah, they just celebrating unfortunate loss in the semi-final of the CAF Champions League. But again, like, I think maybe Pirates also has now an online magazine, but I know they were the only club that started the year off with an online magazine. They socials will show you why they are the best club in the country by a country mile. Football philosophy. Yeah. So who do they compete with? You know they compete with Barca. Everything Barca do, they do. Now you're like, but yes, that's how you play the game. You don't play the game on a small level. They're taking on the responsibility that we, the club, that want to compete with the best in the world. You don't. You just want to compete with us. It's quite. That's what we do. You can see the other clubs. They do it. Now we're going to do it. Do yourself a favor. To all the clubs out there, go check out the LA Galaxy. LAFC. Potent. LAFC. You must see their socials. Something else. And that's why they won the league or the cup or something in America. Just because you can see the stadium is full and everything. So they existential flexing. And ladies and gentlemen, as we come to that end, man, this is where the number 5 is. Pop me the next one there, sir. This is, like I said, your flex is now you adapt and you show the market. For me personally, thank you again, Mr. Nantle, Cape Conscious Media. If anybody out here wants to do a podcast, you can reach out to Cape Conscious Media. People, like and subscribe. Again, it's me, the Dear Double G. Fagan Muller podcast out here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Need to remind, like you said, I'm getting better. So lastly, and not finally, is stage 5. On to the next. Stage 5, they say it's called the will to persevere. A lot of different names, but in the book, the headline is called The Courage to Lead Now. I'm not sure if you are very familiar with the prayer called the Serenity Prayer. Don't want to get evangelistic out here, but it goes something like this. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, have the courage to change the things I can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. AKA, rest in peace, my brother. Potent, huh? So that prayer is in the book of Dale Carnegie, How to Start Living and Stop Worrying. Stop Worrying and Start Living, that I'm reading. 1963, potent book. I'm like, yo, my Oma used to read the prayer every day. Because that's the AA prayer, the Alcoholics Anonymous prayer. She had that book one day at a time. And that prayer we read every day. So that prayer is actually number 5. The courage to lead. Because now you gotta take on the mantle. And it's nice stalking your friends from school and so forth, and the peeps out there that's doing well. People flexing there, family out there, walking on, my favorite, Jacob's Ladder. Taking your Jacob's Ladder pics there. Not consistent, but I like it. That's flexing, man. Like, now I have this, I love seeing people spending their money. That's my new thing. Like, I love seeing it. It's that flex, man. And when people show it off, like, you can see when it's organic. Like, I have students now that are graduated and working, and I always tell them this: I love seeing you spend your money. Like, when they're out there and, just doing their thing, because this is maybe a lady that was from, school clear, and now you in the know. I love it. I love it. So you must. And I had that talk today with my assistant, Mr. Tyrone de Villiers. Shout out to you, young man. And we were talking about how difficult it is sometimes to take a compliment. And I was like, me also, you don't know, you should deflect the conversation because you don't want to take it. But I go back to the school days. I see a couple of school peeps on here. Like, Dave's got called the yellow bad stuff. And it's potent because that was part of the persona. Nee, sy's brekerig, sy's soos die, sy's soos die. And now I'm like, that was just my courage to lead. Obviously, on school, it's most echt different, when I come the assignments and neck on school, all that different principles, looking back, you're like, nah, I was just mad. You had the courage to lead. You were actually functioning on this holistic principles during your days. Number 1, in every realm where you are, we're going to go through it now, you'll find these 5 just causes. Like I said, this is organizational leadership. However, you're going to use it in your life. Number 1, high school. Because I know there is the high school peeps out there that I teach. It's obviously jumping on here. Number 1, what's your just cause in high school? It's not to finish high school. It's to finish high school and add as much skills during that educational time that's going to benefit you after high school. So if you're only going to school to do the subjects, my child, you are you're responsible for how much you learn during high school. Klaar, man. Like, your parents only control school fees. That's all. You control how you want to learn, how much you want to learn also. So it goes to show even the lady that don't want to go to class, that don't grant school, you still have to, what I'm saying, in this high school time, that age time, 13 to 18, your just cause needs to be learn as much as possible so that I am prepared for what's to come. And what's to come, you're going to have to find on high school a trusting team, at least one manskap, one girl on school, one friend on school. I'm talking about the girl that is going to go like, we're going to varsity next year. Or like, we're going to design our own clothing next year. Or we're starting a business. Or you need a we. You need a we. You need to find, you need a we. You need to we. The toils. You need to find a partner. That's the trusting team. This is the high school peeps now. And I had this. So again, number 3, you've got your worthy rivals. So if you know you're dumb, don't compare yourself to the top student. Like so bluntly. And what I've found is, jy wil 'n doctor is, but jy wil die klas toe gaan nie. So all you need to do is, if you want to be an engineer, my child, because it sounds potent when you go to the family, I want to be a chemical engineer. Poof, open your sweater, more CC on your boss. No, relax. It is 85% for maths. Pauses. Because I can't help you with that dramatic effect. My child, you're going to have to put your own work into the maths. The papers are now constructed for you to not get a lot. So you need to work hard. So if you set a realistic goal like, that engineering thing look a bit tough. Maybe I can do an engineering bridging course. Now it sounds potent. Because sometimes the kids are like, I don't want to do a bridging course. Why must I do 4 years? And I'm like, because you don't want to put in the work now. So that not putting in the work now adds on to an extra year. So, or I want to do something in the dance or art or in the creative art industry. Mad industry to be in, because you come there, they say, this is your matric report? We don't care. You passed. Where's your portfolio? What did you do in school? Did you paint? You then a painter? No, I painted the house. No. Let us see your portfolio. I want to do film. What have you done? Not even a TikTok account? No, my child. I don't know. I have learners that went to Michaelis from Cedar High School because we built beautiful portfolios for them. And people were like, and you know, it's that one Cedar High Mitchells Plain boy walking into Michaelis. What? Because we need to build a portfolio. So, next up, high school, existential flex. You have to want to show off that you do know the work. Even if you're going to tell your friends, I always to say this, nah, my bro, I must go wash the dishes and then you go study. But sometimes you must don't want to look pop. And same with the girls, like don't scroll. And the boys. And then, oh yes, this is the other one you use in high school. You use homework to get out of the work. That's most echt dom. So they use like, now I'm busy with homework, and then they don't do homework. So you're killing yourself, my man. You're killing yourself. Going to take the phone. So please, you flex by showing I am passing. Not how well I'm passing. When you don't pass well, you say, mother, I don't need 90% for maths because I am going to become a poet. And then the mother says, nee, my kind, and you're just going to have to lead, have the courage to lead. Mom, I have an Instagram account with 9,000 poems on, and they are all about flowers. Boop. Your mom is like, nah, you're doing it, my child. So that's the other way to lead, is to show. That's the best way to network. Like put something in front of someone, and the worst thing they can say is no. And then they're like, no, but I remember, you can improve this. I like no with something, but no with just no. I see you, the other PSL clubs. Promise you, are going to come one day. That's the high school version of knowing about Simon Sinek. So imagine Simon Sinek's infinite game in the syllabus. Yo. Imagine you don't have kids we swap out, let's do this. We swap out smart goals. How's this? We swap out smart goals and then we add in the infinite game. To all the educators out there, I see Kune West. He says on Instagram, just set realistic goals for yourself. A lesson you taught me many moons ago. Much love. And Kune, can I say you became an educator because of my madness? So another educator that's in the industry that was inspired by my craziness to this. And like he's saying, I know he's actually in the industry. He's working as an educator. That's what it is about. Is that finding your way to existentially flex in the syllabus. So SMART goals was specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timelessly. That's SMART goals. It's in the LO book. So let's swap that out educators, or leave that there and then add in the infinite game. Imagine how far, Nantal, to you, sir, if tonight was not the first time you heard about these 5 principles and you apply them to your infinite industry of music, which you are still in. And again, look at this. This is again why you align with people, because of your just cause. Meet this man on the podcast. First thing was Cape Conscious Media. Listen to it, Cape Conscious Media, the Cape Conscious. But this platform, he's not talking on the platform every day, heel dag, my ding. The platform is bigger than him. So automatically, the energy align. Like, if it was said like, no, this platform, I want to get as much podcast on here. Once I get the people on here, I start charging them more, poop. It was, that's never ever come out of this man's mouth. And again, the mission stands true to what it is. And as your just cause go, you put those things in place in every business, the business becomes sustainable and profitable because you're focusing on effort to impact, something we spoke about previously. Because now your effort is all to one just cause. He's got people along with him. Blask, we're in it to win it. The kids are here on a Saturday, and now you know podcast. He took us along with. Okay, I want to create a platform for people to change the game. School, you speak to your sportsman. There's so many other podcasts. Roscoe, Dave, the Joe Zone. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Go through the Cape Conscious Media page on Instagram. Don't forget to like and subscribe and see what it's about so that you can see what the stages of Simon Sinek's infinite game. It's bloody in motion. And again, like, you must literally look at yourself of what industry you're in and find out how long do you want to be in that industry. Because that will determine what game you're playing. I play football, like the 90 minutes, it's tough. Like losing, I hate losing. But in the infinite game, there isn't winners and losers. So it's like, Fagan, every time cringing, quiet on the field, 5 minutes in the cloakroom, cop down. Then it's just that, you're in this game for something bigger. Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo never ever played football so that they could become the best footballer in the world. Ronaldo became the best footballer in the world because he wanted to make his daddy proud. Messi, family, Valverde's, where he was from, all of them. And then with that, a byproduct of that was the best footballer in the world. Because as they grow, they're like, if this is going to drive me like this, let's see how far this can push me. So it started with the why, simple. Then they had a system. The system became football. And then it became bigger. The outcomes just became, it wasn't winning all the time. On my end of talk about the beloved Man City at the moment, Man City's juniors and the B team and the top team has won the 3 Premier Leagues in England in a row. To everybody out there, that's what philosophy means. When you stick to your guns and it works, because it's bigger than winning. Winning is a byproduct of sticking to the infinite game. Find your just cause. Get your trusting team. Find your worthy rivals that challenge you. Existentially start flexing, speaking. Soon this is going to be a big community of us just pushing in the same direction in our industries. And then we take the courage to lead. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my mouthful for this evening. I appreciate the listening, and I appreciate the people. You are really, when I told you, I think I got, my target is for year 1 is just 20 fans. I think I got like 18. It's the regular people that message me. You're so quiet. They say, now we want something back. That infinite game thing, my broemala. And it's a randomness. I love you guys, man. Because you don't like and subscribe. You're like, kyk net. Nantal, show me who you are, man. And it's maybe like, and thank you, shout out to Mr. Laguma. I see you like my things. Agree, Cedric Laguma. See you soon, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. I hope you enjoyed this evening's first ever. We're going to NFT the show also. First ever presentation cast. Remember that. Nobody ever did a presentation course. First time, Cape Conscious Media. Don't forget that. For you, by me. Fagan Muller podcast, out of here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a blessed evening. Boom.